from the heart of New York City.
It's Today with Jenna
and Sheinelle.
We got it, yeah, we're shining today.
With today's special guest, TV icon, Oprah Winfrey.
Everything feels alright with Jenna and Sheinelle. We're shining today.
Hey, everybody, it is Tuesday. It's January 13th. Can we do another round? Otherwise known as Oprah Winfrey Day. I can't wait. I mean, when we knew you were going to start, I thought, who could we have that Sheinelle hasn't ever interviewed? I mean, you interviewed her
with like a group.
with a group.
Yes.
But I thought, you know, the only icons for our icon. Only icons.
Only.
We are so excited that Oprah is here. We're going to talk with her. She's a beautifully powerful new memoir out. So, and actually a book about science, and I think, and how it changed her life.
And time to have the conversation. I mean, we talk a lot about weight.
Yeah.
But I think now we're shifting the conversation in how we talk about it.
Yes.
So we'll do that with her.
Well, I'm going to shift the conversation.
These new mugs.
Yes.
Wait.
We have our own mugs.
I feel like they're so chic.
It's real.
It's real. So can you, is this like, wait, do I have merch?
You have merch.
My kids use that word all the time, merch. So
Well, you at least have this
wait,
merch.
so you can buy this?
Yes, you can at the NBCstore.com, NBCstore.com.
Or can you do it on Jenna Sheinelle Instagram? Can you buy that? Is there a link or something
Or
like
even
that?
easier, you
Don't give me a line.
No,
I'm just making stuff up.
No.
Don't listen to me.
You just scan that QR code.
Where's the Oh, is the QR code pink?
It sure is.
Okay.
I know, we're branded.
Lisa.
All right, let's go back a little.
Okay.
Yesterday, first day.
Yesterday was a lot.
How'd it go?
Can I be honest with you guys? I think, I don't think I exhaled until around maybe 9 o'clock last night. I think it was like,
yeah.
It was so exciting. This show is undefeated when it comes to surprises. And not just like, oh, there's your mom. I thought that, for me, my mom, oh my gosh, that was sweet. But you guys went for like the jugular of emotion. Like this woman that I have been looking for 30 years. I had heard that she went to Howard University, that she was in my sorority. I called Howard. But you know what? I think she must have gotten married.
You were like all Matlock.
I mean, I was blown
But what's
away.
hilarious is Sheinelle was all Matlock about it and called a university.
Are we going to tell what really happened?
I'm
Okay,
going
go ahead,
to.
go ahead.
She's like, I found this person who once knew her, and then she just disappeared.
Yeah, and I could not find, 30 years I looked.
30 years.
Okay,
Turns out,
how did they find her?
LinkedIn. They just went to LinkedIn, and there she was.
I'm not on LinkedIn.
Me
I
neither.
feel like this show links me enough, so who knew that LinkedIn you could find people.
Okay, well, let's talk about some stuff going on. This is actually our first non-us chat. Let's talk about Harry Styles is making some news, because there's some great news. It looks like almost 4 years after, not being around, he is getting ready for a big return. There were all these posters yesterday that everybody saw. I don't know, this really does take a Matlock. It says.
Well, and how do you know what it means?
I don't know. We belong together, but.
Oh, that's what it says.
Evidently, he said the same message in a video he posted.
Like an Easter egg.
Yes.
Okay.
So Page 6 is reporting that Harry's coming back to Madison Square Garden for his second residency.
That's huge.
I'm in.
I'm in. Do you know when I mean, I've always been a fan. I think he's more than just like a singer. He's a true entertainer and a true artist. When he was here on the Today Show for Halloween.
No, it wasn't Halloween.
Wasn't
Willie dressed like him.
Willie,
I know.
Wait, Willie dressed in the jumpsuit. That's what made me think of
called
it.
Harry and was like, hey, Harry, can I borrow your jumpsuit?
God. Willie, but before Halloween, he was here in that jumpsuit.
Yes.
Not everybody can pull that off. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think anybody.
It had like these stripes and whatever, but he just had such swag. Swag with the talent. He had the entire block.
Well, the last time he played at Madison Square Garden, me and a couple of my girlfriends. Oh, there we are.
Oh, wait. Do tell.
We went.
Wait, with your daughters or just your girlfriends?
Do those look like kids?
Well, I didn't know if there were kids around.
No, they were just friends.
Oh, just you guys.
Went to, and now one of my friends is here, and I'm like, where was Deb? I thought she was there. But
wait,
anyway,
did you guys have boas and all the things?
We had boas. We had the best time, and we went down to down, like, I said down, but backstage.
Yeah, I'm like, where are you going?
I guess in Madison Square Garden, their backstage is down.
Oh, that's
he invited
very
us,
VIP-ish.
and he was there.
Did you, like, have, I don't know.
I didn't say anything. I know. I regret it. But I sometimes feel bad going up and bothering him.
If somebody is inviting you to their concert backstage.
He was hanging with his real friends. You know, I just am his fan.
So there were fans around, like other people,
well,
but not even like that, nothing?
Well, I think I was like...
Does he know you were there?
Like that.
Well, we should do a do-over.
Okay, you want to go with me?
I'll say something.
You'll go with me?
Of course.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, done.
Who was your heartthrob?
Back in the day?
Sure.
Tevin Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
Can we talk?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Okay, here's what I did as we play this music. I took his picture.
Let's go.
Out of a magazine.
Yeah.
I rolled it up ever so small.
Yeah.
And then I opened my locker and I put it in my locker.
Wait,
So then when you open the locker, boom, 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 boom. He wanted to talk to me.
That he unrolled every day.
When I opened it, it got kind of smushy.
Yeah.
But
day one, he unrolled.
I would write the lyrics. There was one day I'll make it in the big city, and I'll be looking for a girl who's pretty. One day I'll make a play, and she will say, okay, because I plan to be a cool kid. I wrote that out on my wall, and I would, like, look at it and think I would be
Now,
the girl.
what's happened to him?
He's still out and about. He's...
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. He's very popular. They surprised me on my birthday one year here. And he came and said happy birthday.
What?
Yeah.
I was like, we wanted to surprise you with that.
Oh, darn. Well, we can do it again.
Okay.
We'll sing Can We Talk? What about yours?
Well, it doesn't matter. Yours was too good.
No, who was it? Really quickly.
Well, it was Eddie Vedder. It's not as good as that.
No, that's... Oh.
But look at him.
I get it. Honestly, yours was more of a mature crush. Mine was like...
Well, I was in 6th grade.
Oh.
Which is strange.
No,
but yeah,
not at all.
It was 90s, and, you know, people were wearing flannels and such.
No, absolutely. And all the magazines, you tear out the
Singles.
pictures. Teen Beat, YN,
Yeah,
all the
I may have been past that time, but anyway, let's not waste any more time.
Okay, yeah, let's keep
Why
going.
are we wasting time? Because look who is here, the one, the only, Miss Oprah Winfrey. Okay.
Is this happening? Oprah will join the chat right after this.
Okay, one thing I learned during my year of Jenna and Friends is how fun it is to have people to join us at this desk. So we wanted to keep that energy going, and who better to kick it off and be the first person to join our chat than someone who has helped shape the lives of millions over the course of her career.
Ah, yes, 25 years of history-making television, and she continues to make her mark through her podcast, her network, her philanthropy, and her book club. In fact, she has a new book of her own out today. So what are we waiting for? Can we say this? Yes. Come on out. I don't hurt you. No. Love. Hi. Join us in this pink seat.
I love the hot pink.
That's for you. That's your royal chair.
I love the hot
You look
pink.
good.
Oh,
Doesn't she look great?
Thank you.
Those are pants.
Those are pants.
Oh, they're
and pants and a dress.
That
All
is
the
a
things.
chic look.
Well,
So I
thank
would
you.
ask you how you're doing this year, new year, but this is
I'm doing
fantastic.
good. Lots of working out and lots of, trying to do my best to stay mentally, physically, spiritually whole.
We heard that your word this year is transformation.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
Well, I feel that being able to, there's a wonderful Bible verse that says, be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. So transformation for me is about renewing all of it, not just your body physically, but every morning spending time in some kind of silence or meditation and recognizing how grateful I am, not just to be alive, but to be alive at this time where you can still be vibrant in your own health and offering, advice to other people in a way that benefits them. And so for me, transformation is about transformation in body, mind, and spirit.
On that note.
All right, well, should we get to some chat topics?
Okay, let's do it.
You want to do it? Okay.
Okay.
Speaking of words of the year, GQ magazine is out with this article. I feel like this is not profound enough for Oprah, but here we go. When a guy calls his girlfriend partner.
Okay.
This is
we're talking about Timothy Chalamet?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's fantastic.
This has been buzzing. Should we just show?
set it up. So
let's show this moment where
Okay.
he referred to Kylie Jenner.
I think that's fantastic.
Okay, let's listen.
Let's see it.
And lastly, I'll just say thank you to my partner of 3 years. Thank you for our foundation. I love you. I couldn't do this without you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay, you know why I like the word partner?
Talk to us.
Because it's mature.
Yes.
It says that it's it's a stable relationship.
Yes.
It's not just like my girlfriend.
Yes.
Because you have a girlfriend.
Girlfriend.
Because you have a girlfriend when you're
Young.
7, when
Yes.
you're 10,
Yeah.
when
Yes.
you're 15.
Yeah.
So partner adds a level of maturity and responsibility.
So if a guy says, you know what, you're my partner, that means I'm riding with you. Like
that
we're in
means,
this.
yes, we're in it together.
We're
There's a
upping the
partnership.
ante. Okay.
Yes. So I thought that was really good.
You've had a partner for a long time.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yeah.
How's he doing?
He's doing great, and
he
we
great?
call each other. We use the word partner. Yes.
Before it was a thing, you were calling each other partner.
Yes, we've always used the word partner.
Of course,
Yes.
she started it. She started it.
But we, I
Oprah
reached the
started
point.
the word partner. How
After
dare
20
we?
years, you can't say he's my boyfriend.
That's my boy. Oh, you know what? I never thought about that.
Yeah, he's my boyfriend.
So you just refer to him as
and
your partner.
also, once you get to a certain age, he's my boyfriend.
It's your partner.
Better
Like
word.
a life partner.
Yes.
Okay, we know you love to exercise.
Yes.
Here's another new trend. Apparently, there's this growing phenomenon where young men, you see them at the gym, they're wearing jeans
Not
to
at my
work
gym.
out now.
No, they're not.
No,
Yeah.
but we have seen, and I know Gail and Hoda used to fight over Lenny Kravitz. They still sometimes
Yes.
do.
Yes.
Now listen,
any
we just
excuse.
want peace.
Lenny Kravitz can do what
Look
the
at
hell
that.
he wants.
Well, look at him.
Lenny Kravitz, guys, Lenny Kravitz can wear nothing. He can come in a thong. He can wear his pajamas. He
We
can
second
wear
that.
shorts.
So if you're Lenny Kravitz, you wear what you want. Yes, we
Lenny
raised that.
Kravitz.
I tried to actually set Hoda and Lenny Kravitz up. But it didn't.
Really?
It didn't go as far as I wish it would.
Well,
So
listen.
you're not into jeans at the gym?
No, I'm into comfortability. I mean, the more spandex it has in it,
Yeah.
the more allows me to be flexible, the better. I like
Yes.
it.
I am learning, though. I've always done like a T-shirt and shorts, but my girlfriend said, you know what? If you put on something to exercise that you like and you feel good in, that maybe you'll feel a little better, more, apt to exercise.
I feel that I do better in the tighter spandex than I do when I'm wearing like sweat.
Bulky,
Yeah.
I feel like I hold
do you
my
think
abs
that is?
better.
'Cause I agree.
Because you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you think I look better than I do in the big.
Yes.
It's true.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, we love what you've done with your favorite things.
It's changed
We
the
love
game.
your magazine.
Yeah.
So we want to know some of your current favorites, your current obsessions.
So rapid fire.
Okay.
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 I'm like, where are these questions?
I know.
Okay, the first one.
Yep.
Favorite recent online purchase?
Oh my God. Amazon.
No.
Yeah.
Girl, you're going to break the internet right
no.
now.
Amazon, the cropped white tee with
What?
pockets, $24.99.
No.
Stop it.
Yes.
Do you
Baby,
wear is this
stop
a
it.
workout tee or you wear it every day with jeans?
Cropped white. It's a
you're
white
breaking
long sleeve
Amazon
shirt.
right now.
Yeah, no. Cropped white long sleeve shirt. Cropped white tee I like for working out, but the cropped white long shirt is $24.99. The tee is like you can get for $12.99.
I'm going to prime that
I
right
know.
now
I
and
just-
wear it tomorrow.
Here's the thing.
Listen, I have 4 of them.
What?
And then my daughter girls who saw them, they're like, "Where'd you get this?" I go, "Amazon."
And did they all go to
They all got it. Yes, Amazon.
We said rapid fire, but we're like, tell us more.
Yeah,
Yes, okay.
Okay, your favorite snack that you're eating now?
The favorite snack that I'm eating right now, it's Dots pretzels.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and the original flavor in the red
Sorry,
package.
I need to clap
Yes,
for
they
Dots.
got all
fancy, but the red package.
Yes, the red package.
Listen
Yes,
to Oprah.
yeah,
That's
It's
the
my
thing.
daughter's
Yeah, yeah.
favorite. Okay,
Okay.
favorite workout song that you listen to as you've been hiking 8 miles a day?
Well, I'm still listening to Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
Even though it's done, I know.
Lay it down, 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 down.
I mean, in the car listening, I'm thinking, I know that the whole concert series is over.
We
but
love
I'm
it.
I'm still in it. Yeah.
She's from Texas. I'm
Okay.
obsessed with Beyonce. It's a win.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
It works.
It's a win.
Oprah, we enjoyed chatting with you.
Okay, but you're not going anywhere.
We're just getting started.
Yes, we're just getting started. We're going to talk to her about her new book, her weight loss journey, and so much more right after this. Jenna Sheinelle!
We are back with Oprah, who is living her best life right now, and always.
For
After
real.
decades of struggling with her weight, the TV icon says it all changed with one aha moment.
Yeah, she talks about it in her new book, Enough, Your Health, Your Weight, and What It's Like to Be Free. We're going to chat all about that in just a minute, but first, more on Oprah's journey. As long as she's been in the public eye, Oprah Winfrey has been open about her struggle with weight. For 25 years, she brought viewers along on her journey of dieting, determination, and doubt.
I don't know if there is another public person whose weight struggle has been exploited as much as mine over the years.
Now, after years of self-blame, science and research have led Oprah to a new understanding. Obesity is a chronic disease, not a personal failure.
2/3 of Americans and half of the world population did not wake up one morning and decide to have obesity.
In her new book, Enough, Your Health, Your Weight, and What It's Like to Be Free, Oprah teams up with renowned physician scientist Anya Yasterboff to challenge long-held beliefs about weight and to peel back the shame that has surrounded it and her for too long. Just weeks shy of her 72nd birthday, Oprah says this has set her free. She says freedom didn't come from just change. It came from understanding the whole picture. As she writes, no amount of success, money, fame, or intelligence is a match for biology. Now, for her very first solo live broadcast interview since the release of the book, Oprah is here to share the whole picture with us.
That was good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That was good.
So, freedom is in the title of this book, and you write in it that it's taken you half of your life to reach this moment. What does that look like to you day in and day out, that freedom?
It looks like I'm not waking up and the first thing I'm thinking about is how much do I weigh? It looks like I'm not thinking about what am I going to eat for breakfast, and if I ate something for breakfast, now I can't eat a lunch or I'm going to skip a meal. It looks like the noise in my head that I think most people who have obesity have experienced, that food noise that we didn't know everybody else was having it. And I certainly didn't know that people who don't have obesity don't have it. So if you're listening to me now and you don't know what I'm talking about, then you probably don't have it.
Yeah.
But if you're listening and you're going, oh my God, that happens to me too, where you're literally standing in front of the refrigerator and thinking about what you're going to eat next, or that
I think about tomorrow and the next day and the next day.
Or you're planning your meal for Thanksgiving, a week before, and thinking about, am I going to eat too much and how am I going to get that off? The constant noise has subsided. So that is what has been transformational for me. And the new freedom is understanding that all those years that I suffered and was on the tabloids every week and made fun of and was the butt of everybody's jokes, and I thought it was because of my lack of willpower. What is wrong with me that I can be successful in so many ways and I can't conquer this thing? Now I know that it has nothing to do with willpower. It has everything to do with your biology.
Yeah, on that note, tell me this. I was thinking about this last night. Almost in the same way that now we talk about mental health. It feels like we're evolving, if you will. I remember back in the day, if you had anxiety, depression, you had to shake it off. You had to pray about it. Just be strong, right?
Yeah.
And now we realize, my kids, they know, people saying therapy is no big deal. Everybody's a therapist. So is the hope that maybe we can do that with,
we will get
with
there.
food?
We're going to get there.
But we're not there yet.
We're not there yet, and this book is a part of the pioneering of that and allowing people to literally get the message. And I know in the beginning when you're first trying to offer the message, people are like, no, because I remember back in the day when I first started the Oprah show in 86, 87, we did our first show on alcoholism. And people in the audience were like, oh, just put the bottle down. People did not refused to recognize that alcoholism is a disease. And so now we're saying the same thing about obesity. It's a disease. It's a chronic disease. You have to manage it. And even when you think you've gotten to your goal weight, it's not the answer because you are what the medications do is manage the set point in your body. And so I was off of the medications all last year, and I gained 20 pounds because I wanted to test it. Because everybody was saying, you're going to gain the weight. And I'm going to show them they're not going to gain the weight. I'm going to hike. I'm going to do it.
So you were taking it and then you got off of it.
And then I was taking it. Then I got off of it. And then I gained 3 pounds, and I gained 5 pounds, and I gained 10 pounds, and before you know it.
But also, you write about this, you gained the pounds, but more than that, the noise was back.
The noise was back. The noise of where you're just standing there looking at the refrigerator and what can I eat, what can I eat? And so I was trying to eat more healthily, but still put the weight back on. So that's the thing. It's the same as if you're on, and I know you're going to talk to Dr. Anya later, but if you're on blood pressure medication,
yes,
which a lot of people are on blood pressure medication, if you stop your blood pressure medication, your blood pressure is going to go up. The same thing is true with this medication.
Let's go. I feel like many of us, all of us, and I don't think you necessarily have to have obesity to have this, have those shame moments.
Yeah.
Where somebody says something to you and it sticks. And then when you're talking badly to yourself later, you're saying those words. You had a moment with your dad.
Yeah. And you know what? I didn't realize until many years later that that was the moment for me. I was in the hallway, I had gotten on a scale, and my dad came by as I was standing on the scale and said, there's no need for you to weigh yourself because you're always gonna be big. And I was like, what? He goes, your mama's big, your aunt's big, I had them all on the back of my Buick, I couldn't even put off my Buick because they were weighing down the back of my Buick. And I was embarrassed in that moment, but I didn't realize until many years later because it stuck. And every time I go on another diet, I'd hear that, you're always going to be big. You're always going to be big. You're always going to be big. And also, just like I did last year, trying to prove the scientists wrong, I'm like, I'm going to prove him wrong.
Yeah.
Willpower.
Well, I was going to say, do you still hear it?
I don't hear it anymore because I know that, first of all, he was right. I would always be big because I have the biology to make myself, that would allow myself to become obese. And so with the medications, I'm able to.
We are going to talk about the book next. I will say there are so many men and women who relate to what you're saying. And even last night when I sat down to start reading the book, as soon as you open the book, and people will find this, I highlighted it. You say, may you find peace with the knowledge that obesity is not your fault.
It's not your fault.
If we can
That's
start
the
there.
freedom I feel.
Absolutely.
That's the freedom I feel.
Yeah,
that it's no longer my fault.
Not your fault. We have much more with Oprah coming up. Her co-author, Dr. Anya Yastreboff, joins us for the conversation with a deeper dive into weight loss medications, how they work, and if they're right for you. That's right after this.
Millions of people in this country struggle with obesity. Now, weight loss medications are providing options for those who have struggled to lose weight their entire lives.
But what are these GLP-1 meds and how do they work? So back with us now to discuss, we have Oprah Winfrey, and joining the conversation is endocrinologist and associate professor at the Yale School of Medicine, Dr. Anya Yastreboff. They teamed up to write this book. It's called Enough: Your Health, Your Weight, and What It's Like to Be Free.
It's the perfect title. Okay, so Oprah, let's start with you again. When you think back about all of the time spent journaling, self-hatred, talking to yourself, blaming yourself, all the shame, all of that time, for people at home who are thinking, wait, that's me. And what do you think about that time?
I would like to say to the people at home, that is the reason why I'm out here in these streets.
Right.
Okay? The reason I'm out here in these today's streets, Sheinelle and Jenna, is because I want you all to not continue to waste the time. And I want people to understand it's not your fault.
Yes.
You cannot solve this with willpower, because the truth is, if you could have solved it with willpower,
you would have.
Those of us who have the willpower would have done it.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
So then let's dig into the book here. What do you mean by enough?
Yeah, so enough really comes to the enough point.
Yes.
Which Oprah has talked about and has talked about recently in terms of that is where her body always wanted to be. And the enough point is really how much energy, how much fuel, how much fat your body wants you to store. And it fights no matter what to try and get you to that.
So what if your enough point is bigger than you want to be, but that's where your body naturally goes? Right, so then how do you...
That's been the case. As I said, my enough point... Every time I went on a diet, I was usually around 211, between 211 and 218. And so when I pulled out that wagon of fat so many years ago, I was 211 when I started that. When I started to run the marathon, same thing. So my enough point is far higher than where I really want it to be. And I think for a lot of people who don't have obesity, their enough or set point is much lower.
It's much lower. And the idea for the book, the title Enough, came to me one morning. I woke up and I ran down the stairs and I literally wrote it down on a Post-it note. I was so excited. And the reason why is because it really captures what happens when Oprah takes the medicine. She feels she has enough. People who have obesity, their brain, which sets the enough point, is constantly pulling them up, and they don't feel like they have enough. And the title also means something else. Enough blame and shame.
Enough is enough.
Why are we blaming people for a disease that is not their fault, that is not their choice? And so that's why the title just fit so perfectly.
So if anybody's watching right now and has obesity, you know how you continue to eat even though you're full, or you've had enough, but it's still on the plate, so you're going to continue to eat because you grew up in the clean plate club.
So do you not do that?
That stops with the medication.
And
I used to have two English muffins every morning, and I do one with honey, and I do one with jam, and I do one with an egg, and then bacon on the other side. Now I can do one or a half of one.
So you're just not hungry?
You've had enough.
You've had enough. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the GLP-1s, or the obesity medicine, as you call them. And what happens when you go off? I mean, and I love that you tested it.
I was going to prove her wrong. Because I was saying, well, no, I'm hiking, and I've added 7 miles, and I'm doing this. She says, I don't know. I think you're going to have an issue. And I think, no. And then it suddenly came back.
Because it's biological, right?
It's biology. It's about biology. And I don't know anyone that has more grit than Oprah. I mean, she's hiking 6, 7, 8 miles a day.
Wildly disciplined.
Perfectly, wildly disciplined, wildly. And she really exemplifies this enough point and how she kept on being pulled up. The medicines, what they do, the way that they work is that they recalibrate. They lower your enough point so that your brain is like, hey, body, you are not starving. You do not need to eat more. You have enough fuel. You have enough fat. You have enough. And that is why one muffin or half a muffin, English muffin, is enough.
Are there side effects? I'm sure people are watching. It's probably not for everybody. What do we need to know?
The medicine.
And also for side effects.
Yeah, I mean, every medicine for any disease has side effects. That's the first thing. So there's always a risk to benefit ratio for every person. So they're not right for everybody. But what are the common side effects? And there are many ways to mitigate them, to lower the chance of them. So the most common side effects are nausea, diarrhea, constipation. The best way...
I never had nausea or diarrhea, but I did have the third one.
And hydration is so important.
But there's ways to mitigate that.
I finally figured out for me what the right combination of magnesium and water is. I have to drink
a lot of water.
A lot of water.
Like how much water? I'm always curious.
I have to have a gallon of water a day. A gallon of water a day.
I've been getting all day.
Luckily, we have our new mugs. Her kidneys
Would you like
so happy.
some of your water?
I have to drink a gallon of water. If I do less, and I have to drink a gallon of water before 4 o'clock. Otherwise, Otherwise, I'm up all night.
A gallon of water.
Well, it's going to be rough because it's hard now today.
And Oprah's kidneys are very, very happy. Hydration is one of the best ways to mitigate nausea or to lessen nausea. There are other ways. The most important way is working with your healthcare provider and going up very, very slowly. So start low, go slow. If you're feeling nauseated, then don't increase the dose. And there's other things, not eating past the point of fullness, making sure you're monitoring which foods could make you worse. All of these different things can lower the side effects.
I just want to say, for everybody who wants to ask the question, do you stay on it? If you're on blood pressure medication, if you're on diabetes medication or any other medication for a chronic disease, this is a chronic disease. If you're on blood pressure medication, you get your blood pressure to the level that your doctor says is healthy for you. You come off of that medication, your blood pressure is going to
back up.
The same thing is true for this.
That's right.
I know it because I proved it.
We're really having to rewire how we think about it.
Yes. And I think I look at it as a tool to help me manage my entire health.
And by the way, your health, you hike something like 8 miles. If you
No, I did 10 miles over the holidays for straight up and down. Yes.
You hike like crazy. You're lifting, which I think is important for women.
Resistance training is really important as you get older.
Yes.
For muscle tone.
Yes.
You know, there's so many people who, you talk about hiking, and when you do something, people are here for it, right? And there are a lot of people, I can't walk, I can't do this. What is it about hiking, because you talk a lot about it, that you love, that maybe someone at home watching can say, you know what? Let me give it a try.
Well, the reason why I love hiking so much, I love that question. The reason why I love hiking so much is because you're looking up at the top of the hill. And this is what happened when I had gotten my knees done. I would just look out the window because I couldn't walk. Thank God, I would like to get to the top of that hill. But you're looking at the top of that hill, and this is what I love about it. Don't look at how far you have to go.
Yes.
Every step you take, turn around and look at how far you've come. Look at how far you've come. Look at how far you've come. You get halfway there and you look at how far you've come. That gives you the fuel and the strength to keep yourself going. And that's a great metaphor for life.
Yes.
Don't look at how far you have to go. Look at how far you've come.
By the way,
Love it.
I heard Oprah say that, I think, on Instagram or something, and I quoted it last week.
I love it.
It's beautiful.
That's a sermon.
I know. Thank you so much for being here in this beautiful book that's going to help
I'm so happy to be here on your second day.
Let's go. I don't know how we're going to go up from here.
You will.
But we'll try.
Dr. Anya, and thank you as well. She's sticking around. She's going to talk about some common myths and concerns surrounding weight loss medications. You guys.
The power couple.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back now with Dr. Anya Jastreboff, an endocrinologist and associate professor at the Yale School of Medicine.
As we said, she teamed up with Oprah on the new book, Enough, Your Health, Your Weight, and What It's Like to Be Free. And she's going to debunk some common myths about these weight loss medications. Let's start with the first one.
Okay.
So the first myth is that everyone who takes obesity medication experiences side effects.
So as we just talked about, there are no medicines out there that don't have side effects for any disease, and obesity medications are no different. There are common side effects, and we talked about these.
Right.
Nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Vomiting is very rare as long as you go up on the medicines slowly.
And I think the larger question a lot of people are wondering, is this tested? Are there long-term effects that we look up 2-3 years from now and then something is wrong?
So the class of GLP-1 based medications have been around for 20 years for treating people with diabetes. Most people with type 2 diabetes have obesity, so we do have that amount of data. Having said that, we have to continue doing the studies, and for every patient, it's risk versus benefit. What are the benefits that can be gained in terms of health?
And there's tons of health benefits,
yes,
right?
Tons of health benefits.
So myth number 2, everyone who takes obesity medication microdosing is known to be safe for people who do not have obesity. This is the big question, because a lot of people are microdosing.
Because there are also people that maybe aren't obese, but
just
would like to lose, 10, 15
So
pounds.
microdosing, micro just means small or mini doses. Now, sometimes we use small or mini doses for people who have obesity or who are overweight with obesity-related diseases. We do not have data in people who do not have obesity or these obesity-related diseases. So we don't know what the risk-to-benefit ratio is. And that's why we use them for people with obesity or these obesity-related diseases, not for people who do not have obesity.
Okay. All right. So let's move to our myth number 3. So you're saying you don't necessarily recommend somebody that is
people are
just
like,
wants to lose
my
weight.
high school reunion is coming up.
Or going through menopause.
Yeah.
That's correct. And I do see a lot of people who go through a lot of women who go through menopause. But again, those studies need to be done.
Okay.
We need to do those studies.
Let's talk about this one. Obesity medications makes you completely lose interest in food.
So I get this question so much.
Yeah.
I'm going to start these medicines and I'm just not going to want to eat the food that I like to eat. During the first phase, when people are just starting to lose weight, in that initial phase, the appetite does go down. Over time, that will come back, and that's normal. So the weight won't come back, but your appetite will, and that's perfectly normal because, again, what the medicines are doing are resetting that enough point. That enough point. So once you get to that new enough point, then your appetite comes back, but the weight doesn't.
Okay, I love that.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Well, Dr. Anya is going to stick around because we're going to talk more about weight loss medications and busting a couple more myths right after this. We are back with Dr. Anya Jastreboff, an endocrinologist and associate professor at the Yale School of Medicine, and we are talking about weight loss medications known as GLP-1s. Let's get to myth 4, which is weight loss continues indefinitely while you take obesity medications.
So I see this so commonly. Patients say, I'm taking the medicine, it was working, and now I stopped losing weight. It's not working anymore. And actually, the medicines work in a way where initially they decrease your weight because they are resetting your enough point to a lower place. Once your enough point is reset, then you plateau, then your weight evens out. The medicine is still working. And just as Oprah just said in the last segment,
meaning you've reached where you should reach.
Yes, and here's the thing. Let's say you lost weight indefinitely. We would disintegrate and die.
Yeah.
Just like
so you need to say,
yes,
that makes sense.
If you had a high blood pressure medicine and it lowered your blood pressure indefinitely, it would be too low. So we actually don't want that.
We have like 30 seconds to squeeze in myth number 5. These medications cure obesity.
Yeah, so as with many medications for chronic diseases, these medications do not cure obesity, which is why in order to continue treating obesity, you have to continue taking them, right? So you can maintain that new enough point so that your weight stays stable and so that you can have all the health benefits, the heart benefits, the obstructive sleep apnea benefits, the blood sugar benefits, all those benefits for them to be maintained, you have to keep taking the medicine.
Oh, well, thank you, Dr. Anya. And check out the book, Enough, which she co-wrote with the Queen, Oprah. You can get it at your indie bookstore or head today.com/books.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
Thank you, Dr. Anya. You guys, tomorrow, actress Gabrielle Union Wade will be here.
Plus Sarah Jessica Parker. I'm telling you.
Day 2, baby.
We'll see you Wednesday.